In this scenario, I'm a nurse who is concerned with the charge nurse for assigning me more patients than everyone else is assigned. The supervisor, Sheila, gives me more patients because she knows I can handle them and that I'm faster and more efficient than everyone else. I don't think that it's fair to me to give more patients and I have to work harder than everyone else just because I can handle it and they cannot. So the first thing is to identify the problem and unmet needs. The problem is that I'm being assigned more patients than the other nurses on my floor. I feel like that is unfair and that I'm struggling to handle this workload. I've been really bothered with the issue and I'd like to discuss some options with you when you have time. Can we set up something to meet up today?
I had no idea you felt this way because you have been performing extremely well. And it didn't seem like it was a problem for you. Yes, today would be a great time to discuss some options. Do you want to get lunch at 12:30 downstairs? We can talk there.
Okay, that will be great.
Alright, so what's on your mind?
I've had a concern lately that I believe should be addressed, and I want to talk to you about it. You have been assigning me 1 or 2 more patients than everybody else gets assigned. Every shift that I work with you. I know that you've told me before that you do it because you think I can handle it and that I work more quickly and more efficiently than the other nurses. I've just been getting overwhelmed with my workload and I don't find it fair that I have to work harder than everyone else just because I can handle it and they can't. I fear I will get burned out after taking on so much over time.
I see.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
So you think I have put too much workload on you because I know you can handle it? I have assigned you more patients than everyone else, but it is stressful on you. I did not realize this was a problem.
What is your point of view with all of this? Tell me what you think.
I think that you are the best nurse we have on the floor. Maybe even the whole hospital. I have worked at other hospitals and clinics and have never met a nurse who works as efficiently as you. And all of the employees and even the patients talk about how good you are. Sometimes the amount of patients on the floor is overwhelming. We are often short-staffed and so everyone has to take on more patients. Sometimes everyone has 6 patients assigned instead of 4. But I get worried that some of the other nurses can't handle the workload. I know that you can handle having a larger amount of patients without falling behind. So that's why I assigned you 1 or more than the others.
I understand your logic for giving me extra patients. I feel honored that you, as well as other nurses and patients, think very highly of me. I absolutely love my job and I love my patients. I know you have the patient's best interests at heart and want the best care that they can receive, so I can see your logic behind assigning me more patients, because I can take on the task while still giving quality care. So you give me the extra patients because you know I can handle the load, and that if you did that with any of the other nurses, they would not perform as well. But I am starting to get overwhelmed with having to pick up the slack of the others, and I find it unfair that I have to work harder.
So let's discuss some solutions so that we can meet in the middle.
I don't mind having an extra patient or 2 sometimes, but it's just not all of the time. It can get exhausting when working 3 12-hour shifts back to back. Maybe I can just take on extra patients only 1 of the 3 shifts I work. Or I can take on extra patients on the first and the third day so that I can have a little break in between on the second day.
I could just be completely fair and give everyone the same amount of patients, even if they can handle it or not. I could also try to give an extra patient to some of the other nurses who I think are pretty good just to see if they can handle the workload, so I won't always put them off on you. You can also take on extra patients in all 3 shifts 1 week, and next week not have to. You can just alternate weeks.
I think that we've come up with some pretty good ideas. How about we discuss each of them to see if they're realistic and we can both agree on? I don't think alternating weeks where I have extra patients on all 3 shifts 1 week and not the next is not going to work for me. One day of extra patients is exhausting enough. I don't know if I can handle 3 days in a row. You shouldn't give another nurse an extra patient if you don't think they can handle it. I wouldn't want anyone to have to deal with the stress. I do like the idea of everyone having the same amount of patience because it is fair. I don't want to work harder and still getting paid the same.
I see where you're coming from and why those ideas would not work for you. You can just take on extra patients just one shift out of the three or on the first and third shift. But I have been thinking about how unfair I have been to you, giving you extra people and not considering the toll it has taken on you. While providing quality care for our patients is my number one goal, taking care of my staff comes right after that. I want you to enjoy working here, and I would never want you to feel overwhelmed. I really think the best decision would be to give each of the nurses the same amount of patients every shift. It really is not fair to you that I purposely give you more patients simply because I know you can handle it. If we have an odd number of patients to be distributed, then I will just randomly select a nurse to have an extra patient. What do you think about that?
I really don't mind taking extra patients, but I respect the fact that you will assign the patients evenly. I think we should try that out and see what happens. It will give the other nurses the opportunity to better their nursing skills and provide better care for their patients. Who knows? All of the nurses on the floor may one day be just as equally good as the others, so you won't have to choose who you think is the best.
That is exactly what I was thinking. Let's try it out and see how it plays out.
This is 6 months later.
Hey Alexis, I just wanted to tell you that it has been 6 months since we decided that I assign everyone the same amount of patients. Over these past 6 months, I have seen an improvement in all of the nurses and great teamwork all around. I think this decision has strengthened all of you, and I'm very proud of all the work you do.
I'm so glad that it has worked out. I love working on this floor, and I love my team of nurses. We are working really hard to get these patients well so they can go home and see their families. It has definitely been a stress relief coming into work knowing I won't have more responsibilities than everybody else. We are all equals here and we all work equally hard. I'm grateful to have you as our supervisor.